Do you believe?
Like, do you trust? Like that.
Whoo! Trust is real. Trust is real. Do I hear somebody coming down?
Yeah.
Hello. How to bring on a business partner. Here's the challenge. If you want to go far, you need to go as a group. If you want to go fast, you can go alone. That's like the quote. But I've known people to hire people that didn't work out, give half their business to other people that left after 6 months, thought that they could bring somebody else into their organization to run it. Or even more common is they have a side project that they want to hire somebody to run, but when they do that, it's always failed. This video is going to teach you how to connect with the right partner, how to run through potentially negotiating, bring them on, and all of the challenges that typically come up when you bring on a partner. We're going to resolve that in this video. Now, I've been blessed over the years to have started 5 companies with mostly co-founders. So I've always had partners in my life. I've invested in 30 plus other companies. So indirectly, I became a partner as an investor in that relationship. And I've started a ton of projects. Like the truth is I've probably got like 30 domains for websites. Many of them I've actually brought to life. So it always requires people. And what I want to walk you through is really the specific situation of you've got something that exists today and you want to bring somebody else in to run with it. Because I really think that's when things change and shift as an entrepreneur, right? Like you can be an employee, then you have business owner, then you have self-employed, then you have business owner, and then you have investor. And it's the 4 quadrants from Rich Dad Poor Dad. That investor section of having ownership in other companies really comes together when you can bring on business partners to actually build those businesses. You know, I was fortunate enough a while ago to spend a week with Richard Branson, and watching the way he operates his 400 companies under the Virgin Group of companies and interacts with the CEOs, because a couple of them came while we were hanging out. It was super fascinating. And I want to share with you just how I've always thought through those situations to make sure that I found quality people. We negotiated appropriately and came to those terms. So the number one thing I want to share with you is what's the value of the business today? I think if you have a new entity, so maybe you spun something off, you've got to assess the current value. Some people call that the valuation, right? What is it worth today as a thing? Maybe you have some pre-sales to customers, maybe you have working code, maybe it's just an idea. But having an understanding of the value of that thing, that entity, as it stands today is going to help you discuss and negotiate how you should split up the roles and responsibility and the ownership levels in this new thing. So it's very clear. You separate it, you look at it, what are the different assets, what's the valuation it has today. So that's one. 2 is you want to make sure that you evaluate the market value, and this could be like salary value or value creation value of the people that are going to get involved in this new business. So if you have an existing business and you started this other software thing, happens very often. I have clients all the time that have an agency, build a new software product, and want to bring in a CEO or a GM to run that business. And they're trying to figure out, how do I assess the different people and the value they bring to it? So an easy way is just, market salary. If you were to go into the public workspace, how much, of a salary would you demand? And or if they're an entrepreneur, those are always the best partners to bring in. What's your value creation per year? Like in the past when you built companies, like how much value did you create in a year? And let's use that to just discuss the potential break, because you have the value of the current entity and then you've got the value of the people that are going to be participating in there. So that gives you a sense of how to negotiate the equity. Then finally, you want to figure out who are the other people that you're going to have to bring on your team. So this could be other advisors. This could be key hires. It could be a CTO. It could be a CMO. It could be legal support. It's whatever the other people to really make a dream team to make this thing successful. Those should be considered upfront when you're building this new business, because they are going to require some level of compensation, equity and or cash. So that's really important to understand, kind of directionally speaking. The next 12 months, who are we going to bring on this team to make it rock? Number 4 is how much money, capitalization, some of those fancy PE, private equity people call it capitalization, is the new business, the business going to require, okay? To get to ideally a point of break even. And to me, that's a really important factor, because money needs to come from somewhere. If you have a team already, they're being paid a salary. Who's paying that salary? All those factors. If you're bringing in somebody to lead the business, I highly recommend that you have them contribute cash, not just time or free labor or expertise, but actual hard dollars into the new entity when you form that new relationship, because there's nothing that will get people more focused, more serious, and show commitment than taking their dollars and putting it that they've earned into this business. Even if they have to borrow the money, I think it's very important. So how much money is the business going to require? How do you capitalize it? That needs to be figured out. And then the fourth area that I think is critical, and you should never, and this is true for every hire that you make, is you should test the relationship. The way you should do this is over a 30 to 60 day window is figure out what role are they going to primarily play. If they're going to be the CEO, the GM of this new thing, figure out what are some of the key projects they're going to have to undertake in the first 90 days. So maybe it's product management, maybe it's sales, maybe it's building out the customer support team. Whatever that direction is in the first 90 days that you expect them to accomplish, you want to run little tests and experiments. Maybe it's, hey, go talk to these 10 customers that are currently in our system and see if you can get them to convert from a free account to a paid account. Or go talk to these 10 kind of companies that would be ideal customers for our product or service and go see if you can get them to pre-buy our product. So those are the things. Or talk to our team about their vision for what the product could be, talk to the customers about their vision, and then come together and put a product roadmap or a plan together for me. Or it could even be just write a business plan. You know, here's where we're at, here's where we want to be. What would you do? Strategically lay out the steps and sequence that you think would be required to hit those goals. Running a test project, having them work with you before you work with them, okay, I got that from Seth Godin, is critical in all hiring. So highly recommend that you create that test scenario, that work. I mean, it's no different than dating. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you're asking somebody to get in bed with you for a long term, and their financial outcome in life is going to be dependent on you. That entity is going to be dependent on them and other people you bring in. So of course you'd want to test that out. You'd want to go on a few dates before you got married. So real quick recap. Number one, make sure what's the value of the entity today. Number two, what's the market value of the people that are getting involved? That'll help you understand the percentages. Three is who else do you need on the team to make this a huge success? And four, make sure that you create a scenario to test the interactions, the communications, the relationships. You know, it's all fun and games when things are going great, but as soon as things go down, people start getting sharp elbows. So make sure that you do that. As per usual, I want to challenge you to live a bigger life and a bigger business, and I'll see you next Monday. If you're the type of guy that likes to click buttons, then click the subscribe button. I also want to invite you to join my newsletter where I share exclusive trainings and other invites to events that I do all around North America. And if you're ready to keep going, I got 2 other videos queued up for you. I will see you next Monday.